All right, so the empowerment message for October the 4th, Saturday, is rebirth. So it's all about new cycles, letting go of the old in order to bring in the new. And it doesn't have to be in a super, drastic, completely like incredibly huge and life changing way. It can be something smaller, but cycles are cycles. New starts are new starts, and everything is, all in the same kind of way. So this card says, no matter what happens, you can find new wings. Rise from the past, accept the positive change that is coming. When I started to think about this for what I wanted to like share like with my experiences and stuff like that, and like going through different cycles and going through different like versions of yourself, was that sometimes we can want something new but we can be holding on to the old. So like for example, you could be saying that you want a new relationship, you want to date someone completely new that you don't even know, but you are still holding on to like the hurt and the emotions and sort of like the longing for like an ex partner to come back in some way. So you can't really have both. You need to, you know, plant your feet firmly into one or the other, whether you want the old person back or you want to start something new with somebody. It's totally like nothing is greater than the other one, but it's whatever actually genuinely, resonates with you and makes you feel like you made the right decision for yourself. But in order to make that decision, there's a lot that goes into like, just thinking about what you really want. And again, this is just the example of just the partner example, but I feel like when we are going from one cycle to another, there's a lot of reflecting that we can do. Like the card says, rise from the past. We can be reflecting on the past to see where we've come from in order to sort of show us, what we're capable of and where we can be going in the future. And like I said, this is like the end of a cycle in your life. With this rebirth, you could be going from one phase to another. You could be going even from like one position in your job to another job, like a higher job. You could be getting promoted. Like that is sort of a rebirth because you're going to be, reflecting on what you've done from the past. You're rising from that. You're becoming like, honestly, this card kind of looks like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Like how they, like when they break down, like even in Harry Potter, when was his name Fox or something, I think. But the Phoenix um, disintegrated, and he basically rose as like a little chick from his own ashes. And or it was her, I don't remember, but I remember that scene. So you could be like anticipating and trying to manifest something new into your life, and you can sometimes even feel that energy, that excitement for something new. And you might not see it yet, it might not be tangible in your physical, but you could be really excited for something. And even we'll go back to the job example, you could be being promoted, but you can like feel that something is like changing within you, that you are growing, that you're kind of shedding that skin from your current position, that you really want to upgrade, you want to learn something more, and you want to like level up in your job. So that is a type of rebirth. You're just going from one phase to another and really taking what you've learned in your past, self, I would say, and going into a new self. And oh, there's another part of this card that says you can find new wings. And I've said this before that like as long as you are still breathing, you can start fresh and you can find new wings for yourself. You can restart at any time. You can decide that like you really don't like the job that you're in. You don't like, what is going on in your life. You can decide at any point to change your life. You are not locked into any part of your life if you don't want to be. So if you want to go down like a completely new career path that like you're really intrigued by and you've been passionate about for a while, but you've never actually taken that step, you can act on that at any time. You don't need a perfect day. You don't need like a Monday to start. I've said this so many times too, that there's no perfect day. You don't need to do the first day of the week. You don't need to do the first day of the year, like January 1st. You don't need to wait until that in order to start, because right now is the best it's going to get. Um, right now is the best chance and the best opportunity for you to start fresh and to start anew. And the last part of this card actually says, accept the positive change that is coming. And I wrote here, accept the happiness that can come to you and tell yourself you're deserving of it. It doesn't all have to be difficult. You're deserving of this positivity, ease, and safety that comes from allowing yourself to receive. You don't need to do any more. just be open to the good. Because sometimes I feel like when we are so used to like things being difficult and like the negativity and sometimes the unhappiness and sort of even not being in the point of your life that you want to be, sometimes we can feel like that is all life is going to be. But again, you can choose any time to choose better for yourself, basically, and to choose a more positive road to go down and to even, shift your mindset little by little every single day to tell yourself that things don't always have to be hard, that, there is light at the end of the tunnel, just to be a little bit cliche, but, I feel like that's a saying for a reason because it's so true. Like, you're gonna, sometimes things can be really hard and we can go through seasons of our lives that are really, really difficult, but, that is going to flip at some point. And right now, if you're going through this rebirth and with all this like fiery energy and all of this like passion and happiness and stuff, if you're feeling that like that energy and that fire within you, I feel like you can feel that something positive is going to happen for you and something positive is going to change for you. And know that you are worthy of that happiness. And like I was saying, I was sort of getting to this, but I think I got off track. But sometimes we can like be going through all of that difficulty for so long and think that like we don't deserve anything more than that. We can be afraid of things to get good. And I've been a victim of that sometimes. Like I have done that to myself where like I was so used to something that I was just like, okay, like this is it. And I was just like, even sometimes some things I'm still trying to like tell myself that things can be better and that like it doesn't always have to be like this. Like, it doesn't always have to be a struggle to make money. It can be, we can be more of in a receiving mode and be more of in a receiving energy. That we don't have to work ourselves to the bone. Like, that is something that I'm trying to teach myself that it doesn't have to be a struggle all the time. And, I can just put, I feel like gratitude goes such a long way and like just choosing greater for yourself and in your reality because it just doesn't have to be like that all the time. And it can be hard to come out of that. But I think the more you just tell yourself that, you are deserving of the positive changes that are coming, just affirming that to yourself, even once a day, um, is just going to make a world of a difference. And I feel like over time, before you even realize it, that is going to be what you actually just, naturally think. That's going to be your natural state because you don't need to keep working. You don't need to keep forcing yourself to do stuff. And you don't need to do stuff that like feels inauthentic because you were like in a mode where that you were so used to. So like I'll give an example. I um sometimes I do markets and this is something that I've been reflecting on. Sometimes I do markets because I feel like that is just like a quick way to make money for me. Whether or not that feels like genuine for me to go to, like they do now because like I've been missing like being around people and stuff like that and like selling in front of people. But I've noticed in the past that like I would get anxious about not having enough money and I would just be like, okay, let me go sign up for a couple markets. Like let me go see if there's some openings so I can maybe make a couple $100. But if I actually followed what was genuine to me and what like if I was following my intuition and not my fear, because my fear was telling me that I wasn't going to have enough money unless I did those markets, because I was in such a mode that, like, that was the only way I could make money. And, when I actually started listening to my intuition, and my intuition was telling me to stop doing markets so much for my jewelry, that I was able to, connect with people in other ways that felt more authentic to me. So sometimes we can really be, stuck in a mode where we are so afraid of what can be good and what is outside of our comfort zone that we just resort back to that fear. But it can be really, really scary. Again, sometimes I'm still going through it where I'm just like trying to truly listen to my intuition. Like sometimes it's easier than others, but I feel like because money is something that we depend on so much for, in our physical, in this reality for like food, home, all that kind of stuff. And it can be really hard to get out of that, but it doesn't have to be like that. And I feel like the more we listen to our intuition and what is actually, our soul telling us to do, that we are going to be more fulfilled in other ways as well. Because like when I'm doing markets, like it's like midnight right now and I was like getting stuff ready for a market. Like sometimes I used to be up until like literally I didn't sleep until the market the next morning. Like I would just be up that entire night and like be up for hours and hours and hours in order to get stuff ready, in order for people to look at it. Like whether or not people bought it, it was just like nice to have there because like people would be like, oh, do you have this in gold? Do you have this in silver? Like just to make sure everything was there, it would take hours to prepare. And it didn't feel authentic to me, that aspect of it. And I love meeting people, and like that is something that I love. So I just need to find like the authentic way to meet people and talk to people and collaborate with people and like find customers and like be myself around people, but also not like drain myself for like these markets and stuff. So, life is just, we're just learning. We're just learning whatever works best for us. And in this new cycle, I hope that, you will be learning new things that are going to make you feel good about yourself, that will make you feel like you are living authentically for yourself, little bit by little bit each day with your affirmations and, just expressing your gratitude for being in this life and being able to restart whenever you want to. That is something that's really, really powerful. And that is something that we can be grateful for every single day. So I hope this was a helpful message for today. October 4th, whenever you're seeing this, I hope it is really helpful for you, whatever path you're in your life and whatever you're going through. I wish you the best through it. Um, we're just holding on. We're doing it whatever the best that we can every single day. That's all we can really do. And yeah, that is it. I will be back tomorrow, October 5th, with another message. I love this card so much. This was today's. I'll see you. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.